Hi, I'm Donna Jordan from Jordan Fabrics. Today I'm going to make a pattern with gentle curves. Don't be afraid of curves. I'm a little afraid of curves, but I really want to get started doing curvy patterns. So we're going to do this one called Wave Runner. It's pretty easy. You can use layer cakes, the 10-inch squares, or you can use fat quarters. You can cut up yardage. So I'm going to use these beautiful solids from Robert Kaufman here. We're going to use these mahogany ones, and then we're going to use the pool ones. So every block that we do is going to have one bluish one and one of these mahogany colored ones. So let's take these over to the studio, get cutting and get sewing. One of the nice things about this Wave Runner pattern is there's no accent fabrics. There's no background. We're just going to use the squares here. I'm going to make the twin size. It's going to take 63 different squares of the fabric, and you need to match them up. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is open these up and match up one from this color and one from this color. Let's see what these colors look like. I know we have a variety of dark and light blues, and I'm only going to need 32. It looks like I've got 3 or 4 of every color, so I'm just going to spread them out on the table, and I'm going to do the same thing with the mahogany ones. So we'll lay those out, and then I don't think it really matters which color goes with which. I mean, you may decide that those are just slightly too dark and you don't want to use that really dark color at all. So we could put that with that, that with that, that with that. So I'm going to lay out all the blues and all the mahoganies and match everything up. Now that everything is paired up, I'm going to take this pair. I've got 2 colors, 1 piece each. Line up the edges exact so they're right on top of themselves. Now we are going to cut a gentle curve here. We're going to cut a gentle S. Now if you haven't used curves before, don't worry. We're going to make it really easy. I'm going to draw mine first with some chalk. I have Taylor's chalk here. So I can just do a gentle curve like that, reline it back up, and then I can cut right along that line. I'm going right from the corner, and I'm going to use scissors. You could also do this with your rotary cutter. Now that they're cut, we are just going to trade positions with these two. I'm going to take that bottom one, take it to the top, and I'm going to take these 2 pieces, and these are what we are going to stitch together. You can also cut these with your rotary cutter. I recommend just doing 2 layers at a time because we don't have a plastic ruler to hold them down with. So if you're just cutting freehand with your cutter, you don't want very many layers. So you don't have to mark it, just a gentle S. And again, we're going to switch these up. So this color is going to go with this color. Now we're ready to stitch the blocks together. So we're just going to take this top piece and we're going to put it right sides together here. Now I'm going to match that up a little bit so that where they coincide there, where they come together, it's about a 1/4 inch from the top. Now all we have to really match up is about 1 inch at a time here, so we don't have to worry that these parts don't match. I'm gently stretching the top piece and curving it into place and stitching a little bit at a time. So the top right now is getting stretched just a little bit. So keep stretching and matching those up and sew a little bit at a time. Now once we get to about the halfway point, I'm going to have to be stretching the bottom a little bit. So again, you only have to match up a little bit. Don't worry that the rest of these edges don't meet. I'm still making the edges meet, but I'm stretching the bottom a little bit and pulling it straight. So the idea is to just take a few stitches at a time and make those edges meet. We're going to stitch all the way off the end here. Now watch how fun this is. We're going to open it up. You can already see the nice curve. I was quite surprised with the first one I did. I thought it would be a lot harder, and I haven't done very many of these. I'm really a beginner. That just shows you how easy this is. So I'm going to kind of finger press it here. Look how nice that looks. I have a few of the blocks done. Now we're going to iron them. I've already kind of finger pressed it, and I'm going to just pat it in place here. And you can see it's not laying perfectly flat because we stretched it a little as we were sewing. But once we iron it and use a little steam, it is nice and flat. So here's another block, and maybe you can see the curve is slightly different than the last curve there, and that's okay. That's going to make our quilt look nice and interesting. Now we're ready to trim the blocks down. Now you can see they're not straight, they're not even square, and that's okay. That's the nice thing about this pattern is we are going to trim these all down so they're all the same size. Now I've made curved patterns before. I've made double wedding rings, but it's been about 20 years, so I'm really not practiced up on doing curves at all. And these blocks are so easy, so I don't want you to be worried about making your blocks if you've never done curves. This is a perfect pattern to start your curves with. The blocks are all trimmed, and there's a lot of fun ways you can lay these blocks out. So they're almost like half square triangles. I mean, I could do it like I might start the middle of a log cabin. So that's a very interesting pattern you can get. And you can extend this out with bigger and bigger wavy diamonds. But the pattern shows these all in rows. So the pattern is going to have all of the blue going down and making a wavy row, and then all of the darker colors making a wavy row. So I think I'm going to follow the pattern just the way it has, if I can figure it out, and lay these all out like this, and I think that's going to make a really nice quilt. So I'm going to keep going, and then we'll stand back and take a look.
Donna, this is really nice. Great job on this. I can see the waves through there.
Yes.
Awesome, and I love the solids.
The solids you picked are just perfect. I like all those different colors. It's got a lot of motion.
You can almost feel it moving like water somehow. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
We need borders.
Let's go get them.
Okay.
All right.
We have tons of solids in the store. Matt, what do you think?
I would say, Donna, I like this color here a lot.
Yeah.
And what do you think?
We need two borders, so that'd be good for
That'd
the
be a nice
inside.
one.
And then maybe a bluer one
Yeah,
for
kind
the
of an
outside.
aqua blue color. How about something like this? Do you like those?
I do.
Or do you want to pull out more red?
No, I think that'd be great. I'm just wondering if that's too turquoisey, we might have to go with
Let's pull
something
that out
like
and see how it
this.
looks with this.
Well, I don't know if there's enough. What do you think? We do have that teal right here.
I like this, honestly. I think I would go with this.
All right.
Back here in the studio, Donna, I'm not as crazy about this as I thought I was in the shop.
I know.
So, we got this one. What do you think?
I think this is much more compatible. That one is
is.
just too pastel. These two will look really good. Let's go with that.
I like that now we're looking at the quilt. Very nice.
I have all the blocks stitched together. The borders are on. The whole quilt top is done, and now it's ready to put it on the quilting machine. And we want to pick some sort of nice pattern that won't fight with the patchwork. It's got curves, so I'm probably going to want to do something a little bit curvy. And I think I'm going to do a pattern called Calm Waters. The Calm Waters pattern, it just goes sideways with gentle curves, and it looks a lot like water. And I like to use that when I'm doing any sort of abstract patchwork, and I think it's going to look really nice on this quilt. For thread color, I'm going to use one of these. I know the thread is going to show no matter what I do, so I'm going to try to enhance the quilt with the thread color. This one, it's going to show a lot on those darks and on the blues. The blue won't show much on the blue borders. I think I will not do blue. This one would be interesting. I think that we will do this color. Everything is programmed in, so all we have to press is start. Just look at the movement of the waves in the quilt. You can see these big wavy stripes of color, and it was so easy to make. One of the fastest quilts I've ever made. The nice thing is, no matter how you cut those curves, because you're cutting the blocks to size afterwards, everything fits perfectly. So some of these come in at the corner, and some come in like an inch from the corner, and it doesn't matter. They don't have to meet because you still get that nice movement. Now I quilted it in the pattern called Calm Waters because it also has a lot of motion. And I've got that contrasting thread color. It just looks really nice from the back, really nice from the top. The quilt is pretty big because we started out with the 10-inch squares. So this is the twin size. So this one turned out 72 by 89. It's really big, and there's lots of options for even bigger quilts, as well as cutting fat quarters. You don't have to use only 10-inch squares. You can use fat quarters to make this quilt. Really a fun project. Thanks for watching our tutorial today on how to make the Wave Runner quilt. We hope you enjoyed it. Happy quilting!